Hi, my name is Maria and welcome to my channel NH Books, and today I'm going to film my TBR. You know this from the thumbnail. But I'm doing it slightly differently from the normal method of just sitting down or standing up and talking about the books. I'm going to be doing it from certain locations in Dublin. This is because these 4 books are all going to be based in Dublin, and it is parts of Dublin that I wouldn't normally experience. So 2 books are going to be contemporary, and they're going to be a part of Dublin that I wouldn't really know, and the other 2 will be historical fiction. I'm driving in rather than getting a normal Dublin bus because I need to bring that food processor back to Arnott's in the city centre, which is going to be a bit annoying, but luckily enough my former employer is letting me park in the car park today. So see you in a minute. Okay, bye bye. All right. Here I am in my former employer's kitchen. We used to spend a lot of time here during coffee breaks. And while we were here, we could see that area, which I'm now putting in the center of the screen there. Behind that barrier, somebody would climb over and sell drugs to people passing by on the street. And up until recently, what was there was actually just a closed off road, and people would park their cars because it was free parking, because it wasn't technically a road at the time. And there was a man who used to live in his car, and we'd watch him get dressed, sometimes going to get completely naked in the morning. So I'm going to reverse this if I can. So this is my TBR of the parts of contemporary Dublin that I would have only ever seen like this from a distance. So there's 2 books. The first book being Mia Gallagher's Hellfire. This is based in Gangland, Dublin, I believe. I haven't read these. It is a TBR, and it's written in Dublinese. It's I believe that it's based in North Dublin, and that's where I'm filming from at the moment, in North Dublin city centre. The second book is a book that's been approved by the Children's Rights Alliance. I'm filming from Youth Work Ireland, so the Youth Work Ireland will be connected with the Children's Rights Alliance, and that's Lisa Harding's Harvesting. It's based in a brothel, and it has Sammy, which is a Dublin teenager, and a young girl who's been brought up from Moldova as a prostitute. So it deals with human trafficking within Dublin. So those will be my contemporary reads. Then now I'm going to be doing 2 historical fiction reads as well. One based in Georgian Dublin, one based in Victorian Dublin. And I think the next place I'm probably going to film from is a place called Hell. So on the way to Hell, we've stopped in Dublin Castle to talk about the next book, because this is on the way. So the book we're talking about is The Convictions of John Delahunt, and we've stopped in Dublin Castle because it's important to the book. So this is based in Dublin 1841, the Victorian era. So on a cold December morning, a small boy is enticed away from his mother and his throat savagely cut. This could be just one more small, sad death in a city riven with poverty, inequality and political unrest. But this killing causes a public outcry. For it appears that the culprit, a feckless student named John Delahunt, is also an informant and in the pay of the authorities of Dublin Castle. so that's why we're here at Dublin Castle at the moment. Set amidst Dublin's taverns, tenements, courtrooms and alleyways, with a rich Dickensian cast of characters, carousing students, unscrupulous lowlifes, dissentionists, phrenologists, blackmailers and the sinister agents of Dublin Castle. The Convictions of John Delahunt is based on true events that convulsed Victorian Ireland. So that would be one of my historical fictions. I have to say thank you to Steve Worman, who was reading it a couple of weeks ago, and I see it on his channel. I'll link his channel down below, and that's how it came to my attention. Right, we will go to hell next, I swear. Maybe if we were quicker, we filmed this around the traffic. Okay, welcome to 18th century hell, or what's left of it. It's the streets around the back of Christchurch. Used to be full of taverns and B&Bs and lots of prostitutes. And if you were a student at Trinity College, you weren't allowed in this area after nightfall. It's also the scene of one of the attacks of the Dolocher. The Dolocher is an 18th century equivalent to Jack the Ripper in London, which would have been Victorian. He was a man called Dolocher who was guilty of rape and murder and was sentenced to hang in Black Dog prison, and he committed suicide on the day of his hanging, so he never did hang. But the night after, one of his prison guards was found attacked and immobilized on one side as if he'd had a stroke, and he claimed that the man Dolocher had come back in the form of a pig. The next day, one of Dolocher's prison guards goes missing again. A second one goes missing, and all that's left is his clothes and a gun. So a couple of days later, women around Dublin, around this area, so this is Dublin 8, so it's Corn Market, Fishamble Street, areas like this, begin to be attacked once more. And they claim to see a pig, and the legend starts that the Dolocher is after them. So the Dolocher becomes Dolocher, which is probably Dublinese. Then the militia in a tavern not too far from here. The tavern doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. So the militia of Dublin, who were supposed to be there to protect Dublin from the French, by the way, but they decide they're going to go after the Dolocher, and so they slaughter a whole load of pigs, and they at least attack a few residents of the area, and they claim they've killed the Dolocher. But nevertheless, women still get attacked by something in the form of a pig. And it continues for another year until some blacksmith from down the country is going home one night, and he borrows a woman's bonnet and shawl because it's raining, as it does. What happens, but somebody dressed as a pig tries to attack him, and he actually did catch the real Dolocher. I won't say who it is in case it's part of this book. So let's go to this book. I might actually film the book was a bit quieter. So here's a book, The Dolocher, called simply The Dolocher by Caroline Barry. The Dolocher is stalking the alleyways of Dublin, half man, half pig. This terrifying creature is unleashed panicked on the streets. Can it really be the evil spirit of a murderer who has cheated the hangman's noose by taking his own life in a prison cell, depriving the mob of their rightful revenge? Or is there some other strange supernatural explanation? This terror has come at the perfect time for Danahill writer Solomon Fish, with his broadsheet reporting ever more gruesome stories of the mysterious Dolocher. Sales are growing daily and fueling the city's fear. But when the Dolocher starts killing and Solomon himself is set upon, he realizes there's
more to the story than he could ever have imagined. With the help of his fearless landlady, ship surgeon turned apothecary, Merriment O'Grady, Solomon goes after the Dolocher. Torn between reason and superstition, they must hold their nerve as everyone around them loses theirs. But are they hunting the Dolocher, or is the Dolocher hunting them? Right.
Okay, it's extremely sunny and we're running out of battery. So there ends our TBR where I literally went to hell. Literally went to hell with this channel. So there ends my TBR for the 4 Dublin books. There will be a TBR for some horror and speculative fiction, but there's a big horror release in September, so if you're into horror, I'm sure you know what it's going to be. And there's a couple of other books I'll be reading. I'm trying to keep the reading down a little bit as to the commitment wise for September, because I'm starting my writing again. And we'll see how that goes. Alright. If there's any of these books you think I should prioritize, please do tell me, and we'll see what we can do. Bye now.